a Jay Jeazy joint.
For the culture, by the culture, to the culture. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 5th episode of School Snowdown! Yeah, man, the Matraka Commission is back, the ad hoc committee is back. So, ladies and gentlemen, your principal host, Jay Jeazy, is also back. Like he never left, man. This is 2026, 2026. So, let's just jump on and let's go and get it. God damn it, what's been happening, ladies and gentlemen? So the Grammy Awards were just this past weekend. J. Cole is also set to drop his much anticipated album, The Fall Off, which is ironic because there's no falling off from him. So I don't know what else is happening. The Oscar nominees are out. J. Jordy also released a new project. Those are some of the things that I'm gonna be talking about in this exciting episode. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, come on! I missed ya. Let's get this show on the road. Parini, no clutch, fucker, gear 1, ukali gearbox. Then, so in 2026, just jumping into 2026, I think we just need to reflect on 2025 and reflect on the year that 2025 was. You know what I mean? I think 2025 was amazing in terms of like projects that were dropped in that specific year. You know what I mean? Looking at specifically what happened. Lord Fagu, Younger Chief gave us Lord Fagu where we had a single What If, and that single carried us through Presley Trini Highest Death, man. I remember when it came out, it was just like that soothing project.
Sizovuka vyenu. Sithola postini, sithola upusha saba grand savuka. Sizoba grand.
And also, it was the year of the big dog because Younger Chief dropped, and then Questa came through with the big bro Theo, the Chavilagazi. Another dope project. KO came through with Para City, and somewhere towards the middle of the year, I think it was time for some Zulus to shine. I think it was round about when Konazi was dropping the files. Also Nasty C, he was like, "Yay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Nasty C is also free." He dropped us free. I mean, he gave us free. Dope project as well. At the same time, we also had like that dope ass rapper from Denville, Aries, also gave us Business as Usual, which was like business as usual. You know what I mean? I think at the time there was like who's in the big three. You know what I mean? I think after HD and Reese released, the conversation was like, who's in the top three? Who's in the big three? You know what I mean? Who's in the big three? Clearly, these niggas are in the top 2, but who is in the big 3? You know what I mean? Shane Eagle came through with Never Meet Your Heroes. I think maybe he should never have released that album, you know, because I feel also it was made for me, you know, and I feel like boom bap beats don't necessarily make you dope, you know what I mean? So I didn't feel the project as such. So I think what saved the year, you know what they say, the event is not over up until the Fat Boy sings. And obviously the Fat Boy being Tumi Mulikani, I think he dropped a smash hit album, Anomi. What a classic project, man. I mean, even all the features that he has on that specific project, they're just so super amazing. I mean, I'm talking about the title track Anomi featuring Thandizwa Mazwai and Barkiman, the nigga who always kill the features, Matlera Top Boy. That was such a you know, like Thandizwa Mazwai coming through with some, you know, spiritual chanties there, like she's going in and you can hear it's like, man, that was a nice song. And hearing Stogie on the Tito podcast, he was like, yo, you know, for me to get the Thandizwa Mazwai feature, I had to like wait for like 13 years. I'm like, oh man, me just listening to the song, I was like, that was worth the wait. You know what I mean? And also obviously the song that everybody had their tongues wagging, you know, the song that broke the net. I think the much anticipated feature, which was like the Four Horsemen, you know what I mean? I think when it dropped, because it had Stogie, he had Mugs, and obviously they had Baby Boy, and he had David. When it dropped, Cat was like, why is Mugs there? And I'm like, you young motherfuckers are disrespectful to your OGs. Why are you gonna ask why is Mugs on a joint first and foremost to start with? Do you know who's every down? Go around and ask. Go and do your research. You know, and then no one tell you who made it Amantombazana. They wanna tell you who pulled up on heaven. They wanna tell you who's the real one. Go ask Les and Keenan. Come on, young bloods, you cannot. You cannot. I mean, yeah, he said it. He said you cannot. So yeah, the song dropped, and you know, when the song dropped, the hip hop community was like, well, I wouldn't say the hip hop community per se, you know what I mean? The slams, they were like, why is everybody getting 24 bars and Baby Boy's only getting, you know, 16? You know, you niggas are doing Baby Boy dead, you know what I mean? Obviously, you wanted David to outshine. He won the song because he's also on the hook. Now he has a, you know what I mean, a long verse as well. I'm like, man, every time Nasty C wakes up and it's him, nigga, hallelujah. No, the thing is that the performance was good. Like, everybody was good on the song, you know what I mean? Everybody was equally good in their own right, you know what I mean? I think also it showed maturity in the niggas, because you could easily try to, like, you know, go and kill the next person, but it was always about that, you know what I mean? I think also Baby Boy, what he spared is nothing that is outside of his pen game, you know what I mean? It was a Nasty is an impeccable MC. Like, let's talk about Nasty C's feature run. Like, from Lemons to Lemonade, it showed him as like an impeccable MC. To him doing Let Me Cook, that's a different pocket. To him coming through and doing this song, like, you know, like, I forgot to rap, I forgot how to be me. Like, you know what I mean? Actually, I'm gonna do like a full rundown on the song and just tell you what I think and just go down on it. Just right now, I'm just like, you know, doing a whole rundown of like where we were and where we are now and possibly where we are going next. You know what I mean? Because I'm so super excited to be here. You know what I mean? As we are running down to like what happened last year and into coming to what happened this year. So, you know, Spotify has like a very cool thing. Spotify ranked, you know, and through my algorithms, not necessarily algorithms, man, analytics, I realized that, like, yo, outside of South Africa, the people that are super tapped into the pot are people from Australia, bro. I was like, what? Of course, man. If you remember episode 1, I said I don't care if you're from Scandinavia, I don't care if you're from Australia. Man, that's very same instant. My Australian people, they were like, nah, man, we're fighting with the pot. We here for the pot, man. My biggest support was from Australia outside of South Africa. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? Hey, bro, I do it for my Australian Aussies, man. Yo, bro, they. You can't quite grasp the Australian accent, bro. Like, the Australian accent is so super weird, man. Not weird. Alright, man. I'm Aussie, man. But you know what? For all my Australian supporters, I'ma get you a kangaroo, man. We're gonna take this episode to the kangaroo court. We're gonna take this episode to the kangaroo court, man. You're gonna be jumping on this motherfucker. We're gonna be jumping on this motherfucker. Shout out to all my Aussies, bro. And I did my analytics. I'm like, who are these Australians that are tapping into this young African? I realized these are Australians in the diaspora. You know, after all the tension that we had in South Africa as a country, you know, after apartheid and everything, you know, we had like, you know, people leaving the country going to Australia, you know what I mean? So I think now, flip-flop, 32 years later, the very same people are now like, dude, trying to find out what's going on in the country that they left, you know what I mean? And they find this young African boy and he's out and they're like, hey, man, maybe we were too quick to leave. You know what I mean? Maybe we were too quick to leave. Maybe we should not have left. You know what I mean? Because not necessarily terrible things are happening in South Africa. So I thought about it, it's like, oh, okay, these Australians used to be South Africans. Who are these Australians? And then I found out it's T-Watch. I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding. But shout out to my Aussies, bro. Every kangaroo for every Australian. Oh, yeah, cool. So nice things have been happening in South Africa. At the same time, terrible things have been happening in South Africa, man. I don't want to lie, man. In terms of the hip hop space, you know. When I saw these things, man, I was sad. You know what I mean? I was sad. And I'm like, because of this is the cause to effect type of thing. You know what I mean? If you have influence, you should check how you use your influence. You know what I mean? I am influenced by the great Proverb, man. And I saw him on the DJ Lumonga show, and there was this clip, man, that went viral last year, man, and I was not happy, man. And I got his point, but the way he addressed it, and he's a wordsmith, I feel like you could have found a better way of addressing the clip. You know, if you don't have an idea of what I'm talking about, let me jog your memory. Like, here's the clip.
And you know what's heart-wrenching for me, Lemonka, is every time I interact with hip-hop heads now, they make me feel like I turned my back on the game. They say, Vep, oh, now you found greener pastures. Oh, now you
think you're better than us.
Now I think to myself, where were you when I was paying to make this thing happen, to make it available for you, and you believe by hitting like on Facebook, you have supported me? Where are you when the school fees say the fees are due? You know, when the bank is asking you for the bond repayments or whatever. No. Instead, the streets are telling me that I don't freestyle anymore, so I've turned my back on the game. Who are you trying to please now? If the kids are saying we need something to eat, can I spark a freestyle for them there? Is that gonna work? Can I go to the bank and kick it off the dome? Can I do that? Can I go to the stars and give you some of these punchlines? You understand?
Yeah.
No, but you know what you get? You get hurrah.
Right, so now tell me what. So I'm not gonna ask you to tell me what you think. I think I used to do that on episode 1. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Here's what I think. I feel like, you know, coming from an OG like that, like you know what I mean. It's similar to what Scoop once said. I think he was addressing the whole Casper situation. You know what I mean.
When I got into the genre, it wasn't like this. Now I got in here, I got my money out of it. I got to the top of the hill. Now I will shun it and destroy the fire out of it and leave because of money.
I want to add on to that, right? In the beginning, he fought just as hard as he's fighting to leave, right? He fought to be in it. He fought to be like, hey, I'm going to be the next big thing in hip-hop.
Yeah.
And he proved it. But now he's fighting to, and just like you're saying, there's some kid coming up saying, Casper in your vest. I'm rapping because of Casper in your vest, you know, Mr. Don Belito. You know what I mean? I want to aspire to him because he's a rap artist and he's making it. And now the kids is like, oh, but this guy's fine to piano now.
Yeah.
So now where does that leave me?
You cannot diss the same culture that made you who you are. And I feel like Proverb, having gone to school, did this sound engineering, producing for DJ Fresh and working his way up. I followed his journey. I fucked with him 100%. He's my favorite South African rapper of all time until that particular clip. You know what I mean? You cannot diss the same culture that made you who you are. You know what I mean? Because if the culture is no longer serving you, it's fine to step away. All right? They did say that hip hop is a young man's sport. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm still figuring that thing out because, you know, like what Jay Jeazy said, they say like hip hop is supposed to be like this. And I stressed that whole thing and had longevity, right? But then South Africa and US, you cannot necessarily compare the two like that. You know what I mean? So Proverb, obviously, he went on to do other things like going to radio, do presenting, producing for idols, doing amazing things, right? So he wrote a book and nice promoting the book. It's his second book. Amazing. But then now to come in and diss the very same culture to say like, no, when you are no longer doing freestyle, you left the culture, you're doing this and that. If my kids know school fees, am I going to spark a freestyle for them? No, I feel like that's off pocket. From an OG like that, because of I know Proverb is a composed person, you know what I mean? He knows what to say and when to say it, and I don't know what prompted that, you know what I mean? If that clip was clipped out of context, I would get it, but then from Proverb, he should like find a better way of saying what he said. Because if you listen to the book of Proverbs, he has a song called I Have a Dream, though. If you know that song, I Have a Dream, like I have a dream that your cat will sell platinum, minimum gold. We, all of us in the bus, touring all over Africa, you know what I mean? Speaking to a crowd, and they're not only reciting the choruses, but they're also reciting the verses, like the rap TV shows. Like, he had a dream, so I don't know what crushed that dream, but if that dream is crushed or that dream was well lived, there's young cats who are still looking up to you, you know what I mean, who still wanna have the same opportunities that you have, and even take it higher, you know what I mean. And I was like super stressed, and I'm watching this, and I bumped into this content creator. Listen to what this content creator had to say.
I have figured out the exact moment our country started to go downhill. That exact moment was when we started to shame people for being my nigga, for being my yo-yo. Like, think about it and look around you. When was the last time you saw someone dressed as the nigga? Like wearing Timberlands, basketball shorts with a bandana. Think about it. Like, when was the last time you saw a bunch of my nigga sitting around listening to a rap album together, beatboxing, freestyling, cramping, just niggering in J? When was the last time you saw a high school kid with a notebook writing rhymes? Like, the last time it was cool and socially acceptable to be a nigga without being judged was probably the last time people from the rural areas could say, I'm going to Joburg to look for job opportunities. Like, so all I'm saying, guys, is that please, if you want to make South Africa great again, we need to start with making being a nigga great again.
When last was hip-hop great? You know what I mean? Let's make hip-hop great again. Let's make hip-hop great again. When was the last time hip-hop great? One first time. It's been dished. It's been, you know what I mean? All of these things, you know, like, it's not cool being a nigga anymore, you know what I mean? Well, you can, the stereotypical way will be like nigga, but then in the scholarship we're talking about somebody being an MC, you know, a leader of the intellectual movement, you know, somebody who's gonna have a backpack and you have your note and pad. Well, you cannot necessarily have a backpack and put a note and a pad because you can write your raps on your phone and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, when last did we hear niggas just sparking a free? When last did you just hear niggas, you know, sparking a free there in the corner, or just niggas go Bramo, or niggas go State Theater, or niggas just, it might sound like a joke, but just think about that, because if one rapper makes it, there's like 7 other people that makes it. In this country where the unemployment rate is this crazy, one rapper making it, my nigga, there's a photographer guaranteed. There's gonna be a beat maker, there's gonna be a hype man, there's gonna be a DJ, tour manager, there's gonna be an ecosystem around this person, there's gonna be punyete, there's gonna be loyal to the plug, there's gonna be brands that are gonna be surrounding this cat. So come on, there's gonna be match, there's gonna be a lot of things that are gonna change for this young cat's life. But if a profit popular, so okay, cool, sure, Casper can say this.
Doesn't make sense. You're there, you're trying to impress MC Mkhize with your bars. Everybody, who are you radically, spiritually? Hey, my man, it doesn't work like that. If you want to do that, go and open a circle somewhere and then rap, and the Bruce will pay you in all
right, it's not surprising to hear from Casper because of, you know, Casper. We know Casper is a culture factor, so it's not a problem. Mr. Momoli, he did say on the podcast, when he went to podcast in Chile, and he did say, like, Casper never claimed to be Motswako. You know what I mean? Do you want to be Motswako? Cas never said he is Motswako, you know, even though he's from the lineage, WHP, Mtswamoto, and all of that, but he was never Motswako. He never said Motswako, Pantsole Repa. You know what I mean? WHP was hip hop, Pantsola, and I get Pantsole Repa, and so, yeah, one jiggy much, it's fine. But then, he can say that. All right, he can say that because of he's not hip hop. All right, he's simply not hip hop. The stuff that he did with DJ Somebody, RIP Somebody, the stuff that he did with DJ Somebody, and guarantees him to be out of the conversation when it comes to hip hop. You know what I mean? It's not something that we can discuss when it comes to like talking about the game and everything. You know, but from Proverb to say that, you know. Cass, obviously, he's going to say that because of also when it comes to the rapping, he has never rapped on a Proverb level. You know what I mean? He has always kept it minimum, trying to, you know, sell out stadiums. Not trying to sell out stadiums, actually. He did sell out stadiums. But then that's not the hip-hop that we are talking about today. You know what I mean? So, just those things, man, they get to me and they grind my gears. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know, I'm losing this thing, you know, and I'm losing this battle, you know what I mean? Like, if my OGs are going to be saying all of these things, then what's the point of doing this thing, you know? What's the point of getting people to class. You know, what's the point of schools? No, that other people are not going to attend the lessons. You know, because OGs, they say, no, man, the knowledge is not in the classes. Basically, that's what Provis is saying. Like, no, the knowledge is not in the classes. So why are we doing here as principals? I bumped into this clip and this chick just said it. I was like, okay, cool. It makes so much sense. Let's go.
South African rappers, don't ever let anyone tell you that you should stop using the American accent. Oh, it's fake, whatever. No. Qhubeka when I'm fun. Qhubeka when I'm fun. Masimyeke lo mfana aqitha. Myeke nadlule lo mfana. Continue wena. Continue saying, yeah, damn she, man, these niggas. I love it. No, I love it. I am happy. I'm happy. Yo, man, these motherfuckers. I love. Like, guys, please don't stop. It feeds me emotionally. It really does feed me. You know what I'm saying, man? These niggas on some dumb shit. Oh, I love it. It's so. Yazindoni. Nenze any accent. And it's South African American accent. It's beautiful. Continue. And in fact, just for London, I'm listening to your SoundCloud music. I am.
You got to love yourself and also honeys, bro. She said it and she said it well. Like, man. Like, let him finish and then you will see. Let him finish, man, and then you will see. In fact, you know what I mean? We, as South African, you know, South African Americans, we have a lot to offer, man. There's a lot to offer in this game. We have a lot to offer. And, you know, it's crazy what she says that, you know, we've been ridiculous where we from in terms of like how we sound and everything. Like, you motherfuckers trying to sound American and everything, whatever, think you better and whatever. And we'll never be American because we're never from America. But you are South African and have an American flavor and it's a South African American. It's nice. You know, we cannot take for granted what we have and what we possess as South Africans, you know. Like what she said directly like links to this.
South Africa, and I will stand on this, has, outside of America, has the best English speaking MCs in the world.
Really?
Yes. And I'll put my money up. They are musically insane. And put the producers, the rappers, their level of musicality in South Africa is next level.
This guy literally hit the nail on the head. Pah! South Africa has some of the best English speaking MCs out of America, and some even sound better than American motherfuckers. They sound so much better. Like, we speaking in Venek because of it's a choice. Listen to me. We are speaking in Venek because it's a choice. Like Pro Kid, he was convinced to speak in vernacular. You know, HP, like those characters sound so nice when they speak in English. But then they sound nice when they speak in vernacular. You think that they can't speak in English. Come on, man. Like even in America, Joe, like let me flip it as well. Like look what America I'm talk. Look what America, like they are only nice because of they can only speak in one language. That's what I'm trying to say. They are limited to one language. Now I can flip it, but I want to do it language. And over something about podcasting. Podcasting 1, 2, 3. I can switch. No, because of I have the advantage of doing that. That's South African for you. So if that nigga's gonna say South Africa has like some of the best speeders, but you cannot only speed in that language alone. Like Kid X can speak in English, can speak in Ndebele, can speak in Zulu, can speak in Setswana. Like that's 4 languages. Ginger Thiel can speak in 2 languages. Matlera Dope Boy can speak in Setswana, English, and Matlera language because of playing the Metakash. No, okay, that's Portuguese, but there's also the Matlera language. You got what I'm saying? So we possess like so much. And for OGs to say like, no, hip hop this, hip hop that, nah, you cannot say that about the game, dog. You cannot. We've got the advantage, dog. Like some of the nicest speeders, Joe. Zakwe can flow in Sizulu, my dog. He can flow as Sizulu. That nigga, half flipper English is like, yo. 2 million, they sound nice. But Riz, in fact, Riz can sound, Riz sounds nice in both the languages. You got what I'm saying? So it's crazy for OGs to say like, yo, hip hop is not the way to go. Chuck D said this.
The future of hip hop and rap music, whether people like it or not, is Africa. Yeah. All 54 nations.
Absolutely.
It ain't nothing new. Mm-hmm. People like, oh man, they spitting over in Africa now. No, listen, they ain't new. You knew. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You 32 years old. You knew. You just because you never knew doesn't mean that it's new. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know.
Africa is the future of hip hop.
Africa
sure.
been the future.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, cats are so sophisticated in Africa. You know, number one, you come into the game. Now, I'm asking y'all this. Because I've gotten in arguments in the past to people, you know, and I got friends who tell me about the world. They ain't been nowhere. So I got to lean on them. I said, so give a super rapper is somebody that got 4 languages in their pocket, right? Could spit at you in 4 languages and braid them.
Yeah.
And then in South Africa still do the click. How is that not a super rapper?
Yeah.
How is that not a super MC? Because he's not for the United States of America?
Chuck D said this a long time ago, bro. Hip hop is in Africa. It will be in Africa. It's from Africa and will always be in Africa. We are nice with it, Joe. Like we are nice with it, Joe. Painting, Joe. When it comes to the filmmaking, Joe. Acting, you know what I mean? So we should never doubt ourselves. Even if our OGs don't want to carry us, we'll carry ourselves, dog. If our OGs don't want to carry us, we'll carry ourselves, dog. Being into the international scene, the Grammys were happening, hosted by the one and only Mr. Trevor Gumbi. They were hosted by Trevor Noah for the 6th time in a row. You know, six the charm. 6 cents, 6 times the lucky charm. And I don't know, my takeaway from the Grammys was...
I thought the whole Grammys was terrible. I watched part of it. It's not watchable.
Nicki Minaj is not here. She is not here. She is still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues. Actually, Nicki, I have the biggest ass. I have it. Everybody's saying it, Nicki. I know they say it's you, but it's me. Wop, wop, wop. Look at it. Look at it, baby.
This guy is a terrible, I think he's terrible. I thought he did a terrible job at the Grammys. But he was a lousy host. I'd say not as bad as Jimmy Kimmel, but pretty close.
I actually thought about writing a few jokes, but then I remembered what you can do to light-skinned dudes from other countries.
And the Grammy goes to...
Obviously, the Kendrick part, you know? I don't think Kendrick should have won for GNX. I don't think it's the dopest project. I think the last dope project from Kendrick, for me, honestly, to be honest, tautology, is To Pimp a Butterfly. To Pimp a Butterfly, that's Kendrick's last best work. Since then, they've been pimping him with like Grammy Awards, and I'm like, Mo. It's like his win, it almost felt like the very same win, the Summer Award with Latino Over Pounds last year. I feel like he was supposed to win Best Rap Album and 25K won it. And I have absolutely nothing against 25K. I think 25K is an impeccable MC. Looking at Latino Over Pounds, obviously, I felt like he had a better project. Although I know and I feel 25K is a better MC than Latino Over Pounds, but that does not necessarily mean that 25K had a better album. So with the Grammys also, I feel like, you know, who deserved the album better? I feel like Clipse deserved that album, man. Like, you know, I felt like they had a better project, Malice and Pusha T. And even the G album, God Does Not Like Ugly. I mean, that's also a good album too. You know what I mean? But for Kendrick, for him to win, and now he's like the MC with the most Grammy awards. You know, he surpassed Jay-Z now, but with GNX. Like I've been locked into Kendrick, but I'm like, GNX. This is his worst album since C4. I haven't seen something like that since
Kendrick Lamar!
Yeah. What's up? It's hip hop as usual, man. I'm not good at talking about myself, but I express it through the music. It's an honor to be here. Tyler, the Clipse, like these are my brothers to be in this category. What's up, Push, man? Malice, man. Every time I tell you this, hip hop is gonna always be right here. We're gonna be in these suits. We're gonna be looking good. We're gonna be having our folks with us. We're gonna be having the culture with us. So I appreciate y'all. God is the glory. Love y'all.
Hashtag save SA Films. So thespians took it to the streets, both in Cape Town and in Pretoria at the Sunnyside DTI campus. And creatives, they were like, enough is enough. Never and never again I say that my kids will suffer. Never again shall I say my kids will not have school fees. Never again I say that I cannot afford to get a house. Never again do I say that can I not afford to get a car.
It is so demeaning. It is so insulting to think that what I do to put food on the table of my family is a hobby and does not need to be taken seriously. And there is no bigger example of that insult than what the president has done to us. When back in the day, the DTIC was working with us to put together the Performance Protection Amendment Bill, to put together the Copyright Amendment Bill. We worked together with them. Today we're standing in front of them and saying,
I mean, we get taxed at 25%. I don't know if there's anybody else in this government that gets taxed more than 25%. Why are we being taxed 25%? That time you don't have UIF.
Yes.
You don't have medical insurance.
aid, yeah.
You don't have retirement fund. You don't, even if you want to take up life insurance, it's all on you. It is not a responsibility of where you work, because you don't work at one place or company. You work for multiple. You serve multiple contracts for different productions and work. So those are the real challenges. And every time actors complain to the government, or every time an actor shows their Capitec, we get mocked. And it's very sad, because you don't comprehend that where you work at Standard Bank, you have benefits that we don't have, and you get taxed less. And whatever they take from your salary on a monthly will work in your favor once you stop working at Standard Bank. We don't have that.
So basically, if you are in the entertainment industry, well, you know this. Then if you are not in the entertainment industry, and hopefully you are not in the entertainment industry, because of this news are for you who is not in the entertainment industry, because the people that are in the entertainment industry, they do know that they do have to pay 25% tax, you know, with every gig that they make, whatever they get. If they're getting 100 rands, 25 rands automatically goes to the tax man. If you got that job through an agent, that means that agent gets like 20 to 30% of your paycheck. So that means you're only left with what? Peanuts, bro. You're only left with the crumbs. And when I come through on Facebook and cry like, please, you know, those people are not playing, bro, because it's serious business.
20 years now. Yeah, it's 20 years since my retrenchment from backstage. My current situation has been the same, particularly since the end of last year, where I lost my place of residence. And
artists are seen as freelancers, you know, and if you're a freelancer, you're just gonna get paid per gig, so you can go for over 2 years without getting paid, you know. And if you're losing your relevance, and if you can't go to castings, that means you cannot get jobs. And if you cannot get jobs, basically that means you'll starve.
We all know the unemployment rate in South Africa.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you know, when filmmakers or creatives talk about these things of unemployment.
Yeah.
So if there's an unemployment issue, it's also affecting you. And if there is such a huge unemployment issue, what does it mean? If you are saying, I want my IP for this much, and this one's saying, nah, I'll just shoot, pay me the day rate. It's easy to exploit those people. So I don't think it's necessarily that most people don't care about these things or it doesn't cross their mind. But sometimes it really just boils down to, can you pay your kids' school fees at the end of the month?
Yeah.
Do you have a roof over your head? And you make the decisions like that.
I got a voice note yesterday from a producer who has lost his home.
No.
We're here because this is real.
So if you're gonna see an OG, somebody that you've been seeing on television since the 90s, and then they have their Capitec card there, they don't have their Capitec card there because of they want to, bro. They have their Capitec card there because of the industry is a mess.
The demands are very simple. The adjudication committee has not met since March 2024. There have been no approvals. There have been no sense of policy certainty. And what that has done is that there is no production happening in South Africa. And right now, we're at a 67% shrink of jobs, of people being able to pay their kids' school fees. People are losing homes. And we need to stress that this is not a grant. It is not a grant. This is an economic instrument that filmmakers use to close their productions. So we've lost almost, I think, 2.3 billion rand to Ireland, Mauritius. There's one in the UK. There are other incentives in New York. There are incentives around the world. And we've lost our competitiveness. South Africa's got one of the best locations in the world. We've got some of the best actors in the world. We've got some of the best crews in the world. We need this incentive to work because we can, as the film sector, absorb a lot of young people. The average age of a film set is about 55 years old. So the youth unemployment problem, you're looking at the solution right there. We are a solution to this youth unemployment problem. We can ingest semi-skilled to skilled labor, and we're saying, Minister Tao, we are demanding, open up the incentive. We need to have a black transformation fund that's actually making sense. The black filmmakers, black emerging filmmakers incentive is one of the least used incentives in the country. And that's because black producers do not have access to liquidity. And we've sent submission after submission to say that the instrument is not allowing for job transformation to happen.
So, it was refreshing to see, the legend, the OGs and everybody just taking to the streets and say, you know what, enough is enough. Pantsing capitalism at the party. Save our SA films, man. I mean, some of us grew up on these films, you know what I mean? Like, to fit to go channel about so to fit to first start. Channel mo pay. Hey, the channel mo pay. Hey, the channel mo pay. Okay, good. Maybe you're not like that, but you know what I mean? You know so in fit to like hijack stories into an Susa parts from here to heaven. Do you believe me now? Do you believe me? So imagine Joe Rockman by place and then they come through it's like, yo, Joe, I don't have money to take my kids to school. Man, it would be heartbreaking, bro. Jerusalem, I hate two heroes, Karl Marx and Al Capone. Al Capone said, if you're going to steal big and hope like hell like getting away with it. That's what I can feel it. It's like all the way up until Joe number Joe like had to get. So like we cannot not have our industry not being saved, you know what I mean? So I'm glad seeing like you one Dilum there, pushing at the forefront, you know what I mean? Just so refreshing to see like yes, there's people who care enough about our industry to be able to fight, you know what I mean? To be there and it's like, yo, I'm gonna take all the bullets, but hopefully, the kids that are gonna come after me, they're gonna nourish what the blood of my sufferings, Yeah, you know. The industry can change. The industry can be better. I feel like if we stick together in solidarity, you know what I mean? We'll be able to conquer this fight, you know what I mean?
Good news for actors and performers. They could soon fall under full labor law protection.
This is the revolution we've been waiting for since 1994. And what distinguishes an industry from pastime or a hobby is regulation and recognition of worker rights.
Labour and Employment Minister Nomakosazana Meth has published a notice to classify actors, performers and crew members as employees rather than independent contractors. Now, the move would bring workers in the film, TV and advertising industries under the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, giving them access to leave benefits, regulated working hours, overtime pay and protection from unfair dismissal.
Shout out to Jack as well, when Jack has been passionately, fighting for the rights of artists for the longest of times, you know what I mean? And to see such wins, you know what I mean? It's we're winning battles now. Winning battles means that eventually we will win the war, you know what I mean? That's the most important thing, you know what I mean? Artist lives matter, this is not just a hobby, you know what I mean? We went to school for these things, 3-4 years in university, and, to just, graduate and, not being able to practice, it's really killer, you know what I mean? And when you know that the very same industry has the potential of like creating so many jobs, but at this point it is not. And he has so much potential, you know what I mean? Sheba TV mo lokela mo se SABC ntwana so tolor chu bo bonsa stu bo bonsa school is nice going up or something like bo bonsa tori tse dintsa khale mchana like this SABC encore for that but like we need new content as well. You know what I mean? Multi-choice law nonsense one story like it should be showing us stories, but it is the one that is showing that is seeing stories, you know, seeing flames, you know what I mean? Subscriptions, the game is crazy, the internet is there, and also the Netflix and the Showmaxes and them, they're also taking advantage of the situation and they're exploiting this thing, you know what I mean? If Netflix is gonna be an American company, right? But then when they come to South Africa, they wanna pay us in rents. Why? If you're gonna pay us in rents, you might as well pay us in cents. Because of, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, make the industry great again, you know what I mean? It was refreshing to see, you know, hopefully, you know, things change for the better, open up the industry, you know, can be open and lucrative and more people can get to practice, you know what I mean? If there's one way of fighting unemployment in South Africa is by investing in the arts. We need the arts, bro. We need the arts. Hashtag save the arts. Jay Jeazy say, yo, let's take a course. I almost said let's take a pause for the cause, but then yeah, we are pausing. Cause we're moving forward. Shout out to everybody who took it to the streets in Cape Town. Shout out to everybody who took it to the streets at the DTI in Sunnyside. In solidarity, you know, in solidarity we shall prosper. This is not a one man's fight. This is everybody's fight. And I say let's go up in arms and let's make sure that the revolution this time will be televised, man. So if you've been super tapped in for this long up until here, it means you're really working with me. Shout out to you, you know what I mean? I'm glad to be back on the driver's seat. It's amazing, it's cool. Yeah, more crazy episodes. Let's do this. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friend that yo, Jay Jeazy was on your screen. And everybody scream in 1, 2, 3. Yeah, shout out to every MC that's doing this thing, man. Let's see what you got next. Jay Jeazy. You know, shout out to my new subscribers. You know what I mean? I think when I went on the break, I had like something like I had 19 subscribers. You know what I mean? So now I'm on like 32, which is amazing, bro. Every single one of my subscribers, I'm gonna keep on doing this thing for you each and every week. No matter I'm strong or I'm weak, I'm gonna make sure that I keep on whipping you with crazy episodes each and every week, man. As we enter the new month, you know, the second month of the year, just keep your eyes on the ball, man. You know, don't forget why you're here, why you want to do the things that you want to be doing. It's important for you to keep saying, I would say always keep choosing yourself. And let's have fun, bro. Let's have fun. Let's go to these uncharted territories. Let's ask all the difficult questions. Let's explore, man. Let's do what we need to do. You know what I mean? Nobody owes you anything. You are responsible for your own life. You're there to create your own life. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Agoba Neo Batsilo Mute, aka Jay Jeazy. If you didn't know, now you know. This is who. I almost said this is who left the bridge open. This is School's Not Out, man. The #1 pod, man. Shout out. Shout out to everybody that I bumped into, you know, throughout my December. They me telling me like, yo, bro, we see you. We see the pod, man. We're so super excited. And, you know, we can't wait to see more episodes, man. When can I be on the episode? When can I be on the thing? So far, I'm trying to get to like, maybe if I get to like 100 subscribers, then I'll have my first guest. Let me get to 100 subscribers, right? 32 and counting. So at Jay Jeazy, you know that's where it's at. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been a privilege packing this episode for you. Till the next time, from me to you, we got
God sent me to do this shit.
It's Jay Jeazy on the pod. It's Jay Jeazy on the pod. It's Jay Jeazy on the pod. Giving you the latest drops, current affairs, latest trends. Go tell your friends. Jeezy is behind the mic. Tell this other cats to take a hike. On Spoon YouTube, you choose. If not, you lose. Cause it's never out, and it will never be